Well, one thing I will tell you about this, I was in the military, and I will tell you something that offended me greatly. And that was I was a chief petty officer when they began to integrate women onto combatant ships. One of the things with regard to a combatant ship or any kind of ship, if you have sounding security people, they have to go around the ship and investigate to make sure there's no fire or flooding in any space. You've got somebody standing the watch, so to speak. Well, one of those watches is a young lady who might be happening to stroll through the men's, they called it berthing compartment. You know, a ship is in a berth. They park it in a berth. Well, they call your bed the berthing compartment. It's B-E-R-T-H, not B-I-R like having a baby, but B-E-R-T-H like a place that you rest. So we're in the berthing compartment, and I'm getting ready for a shower, and I'm getting ready for watch. So it's like 4 in the morning or 3 something in the morning. And suddenly some 20-year-old female comes walking around the corner, and there I am in not a very good position and not a very good dressed situation. And I'm telling you what, I was humiliated. I was ticked off. I was violated. My privacy was violated because everybody's trying to conform to some societal norm that is dysfunctional. It's dishonoring to men. It's dishonoring to women. And it's trying to make everything be, I guess, kind of normalized, right? We're getting normalized. Well, guys, guess what? That ticked me off. And you know what? There's nothing I could do about it because it's a safety concern. She had to go check the spaces. So here she comes in. She doesn't come in and say, because she's not going to wake everybody up and say, lady on deck. She just comes in and here I am. And, it was humiliating. Now, the only problem was, see, we have a different orientation. They're not going to put me in the ladies' berthing compartment, where they rest and sleep and dress. They're not going to put me there. And because I'll have to kill my normal chemical design, or I'm going to be frustrated. I shouldn't be in the women's room, and they shouldn't be in my room because of our orientation. It's a violation of our privacy. It's a violation of our humanity. It's a violation of our dignity. It's demeaning. It's demoralizing, and you do not want to demean and demoralize your American fighters. American fighting men and women now, okay? Now, what if somebody has an orientation in spite of their sexual design, so to speak? Are you going to put them in the same compartment with me? Where you understand that people are trying to normalize everything. Well, they can serve with honor. They can serve with dignity. Well, give them their own bedroom then. Give them their own private quarters. Give them their own shower area where I have a limited ability to have privacy. One of the things in those environments, those close environments, is you have to honor one another by lending each other privacy in spite of the close quarters, because we don't want to be demeaning or demoralizing, because we don't want to violate. We want to give you dignity. And so that dignity can really only occur with people who don't have a problem with their self-control. So that's why I object as a military member to having somebody, whether they declare, I say they should have it on the questionnaire. Be honest and let them come serve in the military. But you know what? Put them in their own private quarters, and hopefully they'll behave themselves. But get them out of my private quarters. And I don't have a problem serving next door to somebody who may have a drug problem or some kind of moral depravity. Now, I do have a problem. I mean, the higher ground, the higher moral ground ultimately will work for us all, because if you're going to reduce your moral ground with regard to drug use, if you're going to reduce your moral ground with regard to your relationships, whether it's heterosexual or homosexual, whether it's you're involved in polygamy or whatever you're doing, if you're going to lower your moral ground on that area, it's very well you might be lowering your moral ground on other issues that have to do with national security. There's other things that are implied there. So I do ultimately have a problem with it, but I can do it. I have the ability to serve by somebody. But can I tell you what? I've been in a situation, there was an officer who's making these very subtle kind of moves. Well, how do you tangibly take this and put an officer on report making an accusation against them that they are making offensive homosexual advances? How do you do that? Well, you have to explain that to them. Can I tell you, that's pretty creepy. That is pretty darn creepy. So I wish if you're really proud of your orientation, go ahead and ask them the question when they want to come in. And you know what? And just go ahead and keep them in their own little space. You can put them on their own ship. But I sound kind of harsh here. And the reason I'm kind of harsh is because with all our discussion of normalization, you know what we're forgetting? Reality. We're forgetting dignity. We're forgetting the higher moral ground. We're forgetting that we're supposed to be doing the right thing, not doing the, well, let's see if we can make everybody conform to a weird societal norm. There were certain things that I don't approve of. You know, I don't approve of people making themselves a bunch of drug addicts. And they say, well, I have a natural... See, what happens with a drug addict? You know what they do? They have a temptation to use drugs, and then they go ahead and give in, and they experience it. Well, now they want to do it some more. And then they're going to want to they might even find a friend. They're going to proselytize, possibly, with this drug addiction. Well, there's some things that people do. They're enticed and given a temptation to act in a certain way that very well might not be the right thing to do and might be destructive to their soul and society, but they actually, for some reason, got some pleasure out of it, and they had to put to death any moral conscience that would tell them it was wrong, so they wouldn't feel guilty over it. And then, you know what? They want to do it again. And so they want to practice that lifestyle. And they might even have friends because they're lonely doing it. They want to have more friends to participate with this and do it themselves. So there are some things, guys, if we would just, we're going crazy. Can I tell you what I thought about today? I thought about America is getting to be like a submarine without an inertial navigation system. We're just like a submarine, for all you sailors out there, without your inertial navigation system. Your gyro, it's not functioning. It's been turned off. You have nowhere to know where you are, where you've come from, and where you are going. You might be pointed in a certain direction with a compass, but you know what? There's a whole lot of drift going on. You won't even know it. That's where America is right now. We've lost our compass. We've lost our moral compass. Our inertial navigation system is askew. And it's very, very, very dangerous. I will tell you, if we keep moving, and it doesn't matter what direction we're moving in, without the right moral compass, we're going to run aground. And it's going to be damaging. I'm going to pull this right out of the Bible. It says, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Now, is that true or is it lie? Is it make-believe? Is it fake? Is it not true? Is it a nice thing, but it really has no merit? No. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Now, that's something that's in the Bible. And you know what? You're not going to hear that on most talk radio shows. But I can say that. It's free speech. And I got to say that until, you know, I guess they have this regulation that says that I got to have equal time. You know, I don't know how I'm going to share equal time over that kind of thing. One of the other things, oh, this is it. This hit me today. I'm stumbling through here looking for that reference. And where it says, where there is no revelation, the people cast off restraint. Where there is no revelation, the people cast off restraint. That's an inertial navigation system. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Another translation says, where there is no vision, the people perish. That's an inertial navigation system. Without your inertial navigation submarine system, you're going to perish. But look at the second half of that saying. Without a vision, the people perish, or the people cast off restraint. They don't have any moral compass. But it says the second half is, happy is he who keeps the law. Happy is he who keeps the law. What we're doing in America's society lately is with regard to these orientation issues and orientation quasi in name only marriage situations, is we've cast off restraint. And we don't have a vision. We don't get it. Our inertial navigation system is askew. But you know what? Happy is he who keeps the law, who has exercised a little self-control in spite of temptations. You know, so with my orientation, should I just do whatever I'm inspired to do, whatever instinct or impulse comes up in my life because of hormones or whatever, or because of past experience? Should I just go ahead and implement and act upon anything that comes into my mind or into my body chemically? No. Because happy will I be when I keep the law, when I put those urges under control, that I, with my rational mind, will decide to do that which is right. And you know what? The more I do that, happy am I. And I'm telling you, it's a very healthy way to go. There's not strange diseases that you catch. You don't destroy your family life. You don't confuse your children. You don't confuse your wife. You don't confuse your parents. You don't confuse your neighbors. And you have a vision. So it sounds pretty crazy. And I have a desire to love my neighbor as myself. So I don't want to maybe strip from people their civil rights, their ability to go through life and do what is right. But I do have a desire to not have people going through life going with every impulse and instinct without telling them, hey, you're both destructive to yourself and to your neighbor. And of course, you're cutting yourself off from having a posterity. You know how that works. So all those that went to that class in 7th or 8th grade should understand that there's certain behaviors that people are engaging in these days that do not procreate. This is a family show. People have kids that are listening. Kids are kind of confused. They don't know what I'm talking about. But the adults do. So I say that our freedom will come in proportion to our faith, and sometimes we have to come to a place in our life where we decide to do what's right in spite of our passions. That has to do with the law. Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek the Lord understand all. So we have to use a little restraint in even solving our problems with the courts. We have to look at the foundations of our government and put them into practice the way they were designed. And I'm telling you, we're going to reap the benefits.